Hello, everyone. We have an intimate blue school this evening, five of us here. It's June 2024, and this is our monthly blue school, which is a once a month training. Well, sort of a training, but more like a discussion, um, where local Democratic organizers and leaders and volunteers can get together and learn from one another about how to be a Democratic organizer in Alabama. So we do this every month. We record it, we put it up on YouTube, and we want this to be a resource for people in county organizations that might be, small, that might be just fledgling, getting going, for people who are new to being involved in politics, so that they can kind of learn the ropes from people who are doing it and from people who are doing it right here where we live, because it's the way we're going to be Democrats, the way we're going to organize in Alabama is going to be different from how they do it in Massachusetts or North Carolina. So thanks so much to those of you who are joining us this evening. Um, we had planned to have the next in the series of presentations by Tom Myrow, who is the executive director of the Alabama Democratic Party. Tom is unable to join us this evening. He is, the Democratic convention is coming up, and so I think he's pretty slammed with that. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to have a shorter session this month. Next month, Tom will be back and he will resume his schedule of presentations. And then we'll get moving with that. I am going to just show everybody the framework that Tom is using for his presentation, for his series of presentations. So what this series is basically, we kind of asked Tom, if you had a magic wand and could, grant, if campaigns could sort of make county organizations be ready for election day, because we have a big election coming up this year. So what do county organizations need to be getting in shape and getting together in the run up to November? So this is the series of presentations that Tom put together for us. Building toward electoral success, the ways county parties can prepare for E-Day, and E-Day is fancy schmancy campaign professional for election day. So these are the 6 areas that Tom wanted to cover. And he's already talked to us about finance. So county organizations getting their finances in order so that they can, have the resources to be helping campaigns. Prospecting, that is talking about how we look for volunteers who are going to go out and knock on doors and make phone calls for us. And then that led into training, which was last month. And that's, a big part of our job as county organizations is to find and then train volunteers so they're ready. The next presentation is going to be ground game. And that basically means, so once you've prospected, you've found your volunteers who are going to help you out, you've trained them. Ground game is, how do you deploy them? How do you get them out into the community? How do you like physically and practically make that happen so that they can reach voters? So that will be in July, 3rd Tuesday of July, which is, I'm not sure what that date is going to be. Let me just check the old phone here. That will be the 16th. That will be ground game. In August, Tom will be talking to us about voter protection. That's another big job that county parties have, is to make sure that we have things like poll watchers, make sure that our voters are educated, so that we can make sure our votes count. And then the last one in, let's see, July, in September will be GOTV, which stands for Get Out the Vote. And that's just go time. That's just, so we're going to be in September. And so once we've built all these previous 5 areas, we've got that volunteer force, let's get them out there, get them out in these streets. So that's going to be where we, shoot, how do I stop sharing? That's going to be where we're going over the next couple of months. And I'm going to try stop sharing. Where do I stop? Oh, no.
Oh, there should be some meeting tools somewhere.
Sorry.
I can stop it for you. There
Thank
you
you. Thank
go.
you. I normally know how to do that. We've all been in enough Zoom meetings over the past couple of years that we would think I would know how to do that by now. So that is where we're going to go over the next few months. And we're really hoping that these presentations will be and have been helpful for all of us. And like I said already, they will be on our YouTube channel so that they will be available for anyone to watch. Oh, and Linda says also, all training can be found on the UDCAL website. Brian, would you mind just dropping a link to the website in the chat and maybe a link to the YouTube channel?
Yes, sure can.
I could probably do that, but I know that you can do it faster and smarter. See, there's nothing Brian can't do. So, does anybody have any questions about that program from Tom? So I think what we want to do this evening instead, because, oh, and here comes Vanessa. Wonderful. Again, Tom is unable to be with us this evening, so we're gonna have a bit shorter of a meeting. I wanted to sort of go over the structure of his presentations. And then I'm gonna turn the time over to Brian Fuenmayor, and he's gonna talk to us about something that he has produced that is really cool. And it's the other thing I should say quickly before we move on is just to explain what UDCAL is. So this organization is the United Democratic Clubs of Alabama. And what we are is a working group of local level Democratic organizers. And we actually kind of came together during the pandemic, when we kind of realized that, well, when Zoom became very prevalent, and it suddenly we realized, how come we're not talking to each other, in these smaller areas of the state that have smaller democratic organizations, we could be speaking to each other and sharing thoughts, sharing ideas, sharing resources. So that's what we've been trying to do. We're trying to put together resources to make things easier and to make us all more efficient and more effective. So what we're going to, and our 2 main projects that we work on, we do a conference, an in-person conference. We just did our second one this year in April. And then we do this Blue School. And these are ways that we have identified that can provide some benefits to local democratic organizers. Another thing that we want to do is have kind of a database of documents and frameworks and other things like that, that if you are trying to put together a club or a county executive committee and you think, I don't know how to write bylaws. well, you can come to our shared drive and find some examples, sample bylaws. Um, so we're trying to put together some resources like that. And that is something that Brian has worked on, and he's going to talk to us about another resource that he put together that we're going to make available to everyone. So go ahead, Brian, let's hear about it.
Well, thank you, Emily. For those who don't know me, my name is Brian Fuenmayor. I am based in Mobile, Alabama, down here close to the beach, but not quite at the beach. We do have Dolphin Island. That's in Mobile County. I'm also the president of Blue Wave Mobile. We're a new Democratic club. Down here, we just started in August of last year, and we're getting started. We've organized different social events every month. We do Sunday potlucks. We table at different events, just trying to bring visibility more down here to Mobile County. Um, I'm sure y'all know of people have said, oh, there's Democrats in Alabama. I had no idea. So we're trying to we're trying to fix that. It's like, yeah, we're here. There's more of us than you might think. So yeah. That being said, I would like to share with y'all one of the things that my club has created recently. Um, and I would like to provide this as a resource to every county in Alabama, whether you're a part of a club or an executive committee or another organization, or just if there are no organizations and you just want to help uh, people in your area with this, here's a resource. I'm sure you know of people who don't know who their elected officials are, um, or even how to contact them. I know countless people who don't know either one. And so a part of our mission for our organization is to educate people as much as possible, to kind of improve the culture here so that more people are civic minded and more politically active and engaged. But as with all things, it all starts with education. And for many, it can be quite a bit overwhelming to start digging in and figuring everything out because that's not really something that are taught to us in public schools or very minimal of what they teach about. I think we kind of went over like the three branches and that's all I remember in high school. Even then I forgot and then I had to relearn myself. Yeah, teach myself again. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick and I'll show you this.
If
Um,
you know them now, Brian, then you know more than Tommy Tuberville does.
well, that's the very low bar right there, but yeah, I mean, yes, I unfortunately that is the case. And you'd be surprised at other politicians as well. They don't know a lot of things. As we all know, I'm preaching to the choir, but some people join public office not to serve others, but to further their own selfish interests. But that's a topic for another day. Can everyone see this worksheet that I have on my screen? Yeah, okay. So here I have divided into different levels. So you have our federal level, and for Alabama, it's the same, right? We have Tommy Tuberville and Katie Britt. Um, we already filled in their information, their phone numbers, and how to contact them. Um, we also have a U.S. House of Representatives here, congressional district number, name, phone number, contact. So basically what the idea is for people to print this out, fill in the blanks, and attach it to their refrigerator so that every time that there's a need to contact your elected officials, you know who they are and you know their phone number. You don't have to go digging through everywhere. You have it all in one spot. Um, but the tough part is finding out all this information. How do you find out who your state Senate representative is, or House representative, your senator, and then you get down to the local level, like who is your county commission representative? If you live in a city, who is your mayor? Most likely you know who they are. Um, but how do you contact them? Who your city council district, if you live in a city or a town as well. So we try to make this uh, across the board, federal, state, and local level to hit all the major parts. You won't see things like school board on here. Um, that was we don't want to overwhelm people too much. So that could be like level two, right? So we're at level one right now. And advanced levels, we'll get into the school boards, which I still need to learn too. I'm not quite sure what our school board does, but I'm learning as we go. We added a little QR code down here, which will take you to a guide. Now, just looking at this, you won't really know what to do. Um, People kind of know to go to the Secretary of State website to find out some information. Um, but even then, it doesn't give you anything. So we created this little handy little guide. Can you see this one? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it's a Google Documents. It has step-by-step instructions on how to find out who your elected officials are. Um, so for example, it'll tell you to visit this website, you enter your first, last name, and date of birth, check the box. We try to be as detailed as possible. Um, Click on the little show arrow and show you the districts. And from there, on the Secretary of State website, it'll only give you the district numbers, right? It won't tell you who your representatives are. Um, and yeah, so then you write down your districts on this worksheet. There's little blanks right here. You put in your district numbers. And then next, write these worksheets to the corresponding section. And then down here, we did a lot of the heavy legwork, and we dug and found everyone's contact information for all elected officials. And we even color coded which ones are Republicans and which one are Democrats. So what you're seeing right now is for Mobile County. Um, State Senate, we have three senators. For Alabama, one is Democrat, two Republicans. House of Representatives, again, we're lucky that we have some Democratic representatives here. But even then, I think we have one, two, three, four, and then one, two, three, four, five more Republican than Democrat here. But yet they all still work together, which is we're one of the few counties to do that. We have uh, I forget what the word is, but basically they team up and they have meetings with the community so that they all start working together for what works for Mobile County. Um, Especially seeing how, we have the port down here and we make so much revenue for the rest of the state, and yet we get railroaded so many times. And that's a topic for another day. So yeah, county commission, and then even the hard parts is finding information for city council, for the mayor. So we have one city right here, mayor, phone numbers, email addresses for every single city in our county, from what we can find. So people can look at this and just copy it into their worksheets. Just write it down. So make it as easy as possible. Um, so all that being said, I would like this to be a resource for every county in Alabama. I feel that the more that we empower voters here, the more they feel like they can see the changes in their communities. They become more active and they can hold their elected officials responsible as well. So it's all about becoming more engaged. And this is a resource that I would love to offer to every county. And I would be more than happy to work with y'all to customize this. So we can take away, my Blue Wave logo on here. We customize the QR code. I make a copy of this and help find information to reflect your county's elected officials as well. So that's, House Representatives, State Senate, State House of Representatives, and then all your local officials, which are supposed to be nonpartisan, but we all know that their political affiliations affects the decisions they make there. So unfortunately, it does have an effect more than half the time, uh, how they lean politically. And yeah, so I will have, um, yeah, just contact us, either me or Emily, if you like to take advantage of this resource. We could set up a meeting time so that we can customize this to your county and then go from there. And I think that's it, Emily. That's all I got.
Brian, that's awesome. I had a couple of comments. Well, one of my questions was, what do you think would be the best way for people to, grab this or interact with it? Another thing that we can do is send an email out about this to our email list and make sure that all the county party chairs receive it as well. Um, just
Yes,
so,
agreed. I love that idea. So we send it through email, whoever's on this call, whoever watches the YouTube recording, and we'll also put it on the website as well so that people who come across it can find it. We'll add it to our social media as well, our page and our group. So we can try to reach as many people as possible.
yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, and I can already think about, so many ways of using that. And I think that would be a wonderful thing, like you said, printing that out. And so for those of us who work in party organizations, if we can put this together and then print it out every time we have a meeting, people come to the meeting, we hand them one of those. That's a really valuable service and resource that we can give to people. And then if we want to organize an action, if we think that our local representative needs to be held accountable for something, or we want to talk about a piece of legislation or something, we can let everybody know, you know who to call, you know what the numbers are. Because that really is a lot of work. You got to go to the website and you got to find the number so that's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyone
Any
have any questions about this? Concerns, comments? Very
Thanks so
good.
much. That's awesome.
Yeah. Also, like if you're tabling at events, if you want to print out a copy of this and give it to the public as well, that'll be great. That's what
Right.
we do as well. Mhm.
That is really great. That can also be something that you provide if you ever do a voter registration event. When you register someone to vote, you give them one of those.
Yep.
Um, Steve, did you raise your hand?
Yes, yes, I did.
Go ahead.
How do you create the QR code?
Yeah, good question. So the software that I use is called Canva. I'll share my screen real quick as well. Um, so Canva is a website. They have a free plan, or you can get a professional one with more options. But the QR code comes with the free one, so you have to worry about that. Um, this is what I use to create different flyers. Like you see this one for UDCAL, our logos and everything. So for example, I will bring this one up for a recent flyer.
Mhm.
There's apps, and then you go to QR code, you enter the URL there. So for example, I'll copy UDCAL's websites, put it in here, generate code. I know I'm going really fast, um, but but once you practice every once in a while, it gets really easy. And then you could adjust the size of the QR code as well. So this is a program that I use for UDCAL, but also for my club as well to create our flyers and graphics and everything else. And if you need, I'll be more than happy to provide one-on-one training on how to use Canva as well. I believe that it's a really good resource, especially in organizations that have very limited financial resources or they don't have volunteers, you know, professional graphic designers at the helm, um, who are willing to volunteer their time for it. So this is something that Canva makes it very easy for people to use, lots of drag and drop elements, that just with little practice anyone can learn and perfect for sure.
That's helpful information. One other question. Do you use Canva or did you use Canva to create the website for Blue Wave Mobile?
I did not. So I we use a website called Squarespace. Um,
Okay. Mhm.
and this one, it is also, it's not as easy, but it's pretty easy to build. These one have what I love is that it comes with different templates. So for example, you could like hit nonprofit and they have these ready to build templates that you can pick from and you just customize it um as you need with
That's
it.
good to know.
So that's what we use for our Blue Wave. I we grabbed one template and then we just made some changes, changed the colors, and it's a pretty functional website that
Oh,
mostly
sorry.
everyone can learn how to use.
Yeah,
It
I use.
does. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. It does require a subscription. How much do you pay per month for your hosting?
Question. I think we have a yearly plan. It is
Few
a
hundred
bit costly. I think it's around $200 a month, a year, around 200 a year. The if you're looking for more affordable or even free websites, I want to say that Wix provides that,
Mhm.
or they used to. But that's a good question. If your area or organization is very limited on funds, um, then I can do some research and try to see if there is a place where they offer like a free, very basic websites so you can use it. My recommendation is like what we do with Blue Wave. We started a membership program where members pay $20 a year, and with just a handful of people, you can already pay for the website hosting there. Um, yeah, that's my recommendation.
I used Squarespace when I ran for state representative in 2022. So I'm somewhat familiar with that. Uh, I think we could do that. I
Awesome,
think
perfect.
the
And of course,
county.
I'll be more than happy to share any knowledge or
Okay.
help troubleshoot anything. Just
Thank
let
you,
us
Amy.
know.
I wonder if it would, I'll just ask everyone attending this meeting, thinking about next year, once we're through election, active election season, I think it would be great to have a series of Blue School sessions on these types of things. We always have things on Vote Builder, but Canva, designing a website, like putting together nice looking marketing materials for use on social media. These are things that all, our tiny, small organizations need to do. We just here recently found a 22-year-old woman who can come and just do this stuff very easily, but that's only recently. So up until then, we've been kind of trying to scratch things out with crayons or something. We don't know what we're doing. So what do y'all think about that? Would you be interested in a few sessions on that kind
I
of
think
thing?
that's a very good idea.
Ryan, maybe you can lead those.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, let's do it. We do one session on Canva, another on websites, another on social media, and another on email newsletters as well. I think that's a very useful tool for organizations.
I think that would be great. Yeah. Okay. Um, does anybody else have any more general questions or suggestions for UDCAL or for other topics for future Blue School sessions or anything like that?
Have, I have a question. Um, has UDCAL talked about um, absentee voting and inquiries into absentee voting? That might not be an issue if, if our if the Republicans in the legislature hadn't tried to make it more difficult to do absentee voting. Um, I know I have gotten an inquiry by mail from a lady from Andalusia here in Covington County who moved out of state. She's on up in years and I think to be close to family, but she still wants to vote in Covington County, and she wanted me to send her information about absentee voting. and I'm not, I mean, maybe I can find, I have not been to the
Steve,
Secretary's website, check that, but
Steve,
yes.
this
Hey,
is Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, you, we have a training on that this Saturday. You should have got an invite to it in Dothan at the Clarion Inn at from noon to 3.
Okay.
But the short answer to that is I am anyone who asks me about it, I tell them they must go through the elections manager in the probate judge office. And that is the only way to be safe as a Democrat. So
Okay.
what I do is I give them that address and I tell them this is the person that handles it. So this is the person you have to go through. And I'm sorry they're going to be inundated with a million requests, phone calls and stuff, but they created that mess themselves.
That's right.
But I'm not even, the only thing I'm willing to give them is the phone number and address to the elections manager that handles absentee. And then she'll have to take it from there. Hope that helps.
It
But
does.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
But if you can make it Saturday, please do. I'd like to see you.
And it's going to be at the,
Clarion.
okay,
Yeah.
at the Clarion. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I can.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to call you and a few others because I hadn't heard from you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Linda is always the person to ask if you need to know accurate information about procedure and how to get stuff done. She's the person to ask about anything, really.
How to stay out of jail. That's my goal.
Having worked in the correction system for such a long time. Yes, we definitely do not want to go to jail for handing elderly persons a stamped envelope to, offering them a stamp to mail their absentee ballot application. Another person that you can ask if you're not able to attend Linda's training in Dothan, I know that Ben Harris, he's the vice chair at the state party, vice chair for county affairs. He's been trying to visit county organizations to make sure that he goes over the new regulations around absentee voting. So he should have some materials that he can share with you.
I would also think that the League of Women Voters would also know how to do that as well. That could be if you have a local chapter, reach out to the state chapter, and I'm more than confident that they know that whole process already, since they fought against,
Well,
the
and
legislation.
for everyone's information, it will be Ben that's doing the training this Saturday, and the League of Women Voters and the NAACP and one other group, Alabama Arise, are currently challenging this in the federal courts. So who knows what will happen, but right now, as the law stands, if you are not a relative of the person to the second degree, so a grandmother can help her grandson and vice versa, then you may not help these people. So again, I'm giving them the address, the information, and telling them why I can no longer help them, in hopes that they can find a relative in that framework that can. But I've got at least 10 that cannot. I've got 2 blind people, 2 that have hearing disabilities, and then about 6 that don't leave their house. They're wheelchair bound or whatever. So
would that be subject to ADA challenge?
I'm not even. I am going to have a conversation with the probate judge and the elections manager after Saturday, and I'm going to ask them directly: are you willing, if I give you these people's their address, are you willing to send them a request? Or are you going to think that I'm violating the law there? So my hope is that I'll be able to give these 10 names to them and their address, and they'll just do the right thing. That's my hope.
That's great, Linda. Those 10 people have a real advocate in you. Lucky to have you here.
Yeah. Again, over, under, or around, but not go to jail.
Yeah, right, right. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Mother-in-law. Would mother-in-law count as being within 2 degrees of being related, Linda?
No, there are no in-laws anywhere in the law.
So my understanding is that there are, and I actually have the packet from Ben because he was down here in our county.
Okay.
We can give the ballot application to people. We cannot help them fill out their ballot. We cannot help them mail their ballot. And these are things people have been doing for a really long time. Providing stamps for people, helping people who might be disabled or elderly fill out very confusing ballots. So,
Well, yeah, even I even carry a small portable camera with me that prints out photos, and I would take their photo and let them put it in the packet. So,
right.
there is a lot that people don't understand about when you fill one out. It's not just the application. Sometimes you need a copy of their driver's license, or you have to have a photo, and it's way more involved. But again, we don't want to get into a situation where we're, crossing the line. And a talk with your probate judge is always good advice.
Yeah. Good to be on speaking terms with the probate judge. Hey, Vanessa. Go ahead.
Hello, I have another question. You know how the legal women would go to colleges and stuff and have you to come and bring elders there and help to fill out, get their license and all that and fill out the paperwork. So legal women won't be able to do that either this time?
They are reading the law like I'm reading the law, which is we are not allowed to deliver a request for application to anyone.
Wow.
They must request it from the absentee manager.
They've made it a felony. So helping people fill out their ballot.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a misdemeanor, but it still carries a 1-year prison sentence and a $5,000 fine.
Right.
Okay. I know there's part of it that ends up being a felony. I think it's if there's any, like if you were to buy them a stamp. I think
Yes. If there's
that would
any
be a felony.
quid pro quo, then there is a felony. Yes.
Yeah. You give them an envelope or something, or you give them a pen to sign their ballot with. So yeah, we've got to be really careful.
Okay. So my next question is to Linda again.
Okay.
If you go to the nursing home, because see, this is something that I think many of us don't really understand or don't know. And if you go to nursing home, see, this is the things that we used to do, and I'm glad that I came on tonight. I hadn't seen everyone in a while, but I'm glad I came on. And so the church would go to the nursing homes.
Yep.
And we would assist and help. So now it's going to have to be a family member instead of okay.
And yeah, like I said, and I know that's why the NAACP and the Legal Women Voters and the other one, which I can never remember, has still challenged it in federal court. And I mean, this is the most ridiculous law ever passed.
Yeah. This to deter this, but the thing of it is, and I know we're the Democratic Party, but the Republicans gonna be hurting too, because there's a lot of those Republicans in them nursing homes.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of extraneous, like let's take the senior centers. I know that they used to have people in there, other seniors helping each other.
Yeah.
All I can say is, it's not wise this time around. But if you know people need it, make sure they get the address to write the probate judge. There's no that is perfectly legal. I'm handing you the address to the absentee manager and her phone number. That's the person you need to talk to.
Okay, so I can drive them up to where the probate is and tell them they have to go in and do their own thing. I can do that, right, and not get in trouble.
That, yes, as far as I know, we're still able to transport. Yes.
Okay, 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 all right. Okay.
I will try to do my best. I'm going to do two things. Saturday, I'm going to live stream it and record the training.
Oh, great.
And the other thing I'm going to do is after I talk to the probate judge here and the absentee manager, I am going to then kind of do another live feed saying what they told me. Okay. And again, you know, there's 67 counties. My guess is you're probably going to get 67 probate judges reading, you know, different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Linda,
Yeah.
can we put those recordings up on the UDCAL YouTube page?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. That's why I try to live stream and then record everything.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who might have missed the Democratic Party thing on April 6th, I also downloaded that. So it should be on my Facebook page for another 21 days. There was no meeting. I did record that, what was occurring.
Great.
Right.
Well,
thank you.
yeah. Again, Linda's always on top of the details and the facts, and we're just lucky to have her. And I'm so grateful for all of you. I think that the Democrats in Alabama are really a special group of people, and I'm just gonna get personal here, and I'm just really grateful to be associated with all of you. And you know, we're fighters, but we're also sweeties. So it's nice to it's nice for us to be working together. So thanks to all of you. I think we're gonna close for this evening. Once again, next month, so it's the third Tuesday, that's going to be the 16th of July, and Tom Myra will be joining us again, and he will be talking to us about ground game as we gear on up for November. So that's it for this evening.
Emily and Brian, thank you both.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank you.
to you. Thanks to
Thanks,
all of you.
and good night.